Hi everyone, welcome to the Energy Storage Market Series. My name is Kyle Pease and I'm a Sales and Design Engineer here at RENVU. Today we're going to be hearing from Gary Thompson, Regional Sales Manager at Fortress Power, and he'll tell us about the new energy storage products, the DuraRack and FlexTower. Before we dive in, and while we're waiting for more people to join, I'd like to give a little background on RENVU as well as some of the products and services we offer. RENVU is a US-based solar equipment distributor. We have been in the industry for over a decade and currently have fulfillment facilities in California, New Jersey, and Texas. Myself and the rest of the sales staff have backgrounds within engineering or solar installation to provide you with the best sales service. Quick product spotlight here. RENVU is offering a $250 coupon when buying a FlexTower, DuraRack, or eVault, so keep an eye out for the post-webinar email with the coupon code. In addition to Fortress, I'd like to take a moment to spotlight a few of our other popular products, often paired with Fortress energy storage options. Sol-Ark is one of our popular hybrid and off-grid inverter manufacturers. We keep their 8K, 12K, 12K EMP, and 15Ks on the shelf. We have home grid as well. For panels, we have on the shelf multiple options such as ANRISE, 330 watt, black on black. The Ryzen 450 watts are incoming end of this month, and we have Recom 380 watts, as well as a large selection incoming. For microinverters, we carry Enphase, AP systems, an exciting new option. We've now added DuraRack to our portfolio, including the Telecom microinverters. Check out our commercial price list for large volume module options. We are sharing in the chat a link to this page. If you are an installer or planning a large project, it's a good one to bookmark. We keep it updated regularly, so you can check here for our latest deals on bulk orders. There's also another tab in the spreadsheet for energy storage options and inverters with price comparisons for the total cost per kilowatt hour, and a number of other parameters to help you choose. I'll also take a minute here to mention our Blicker residential carport. This is a great way to expand existing solar systems or as an alternative solution when you aren't able to install solar on your existing roof. Shown here is the 2-car carport. There are also options for a 1-car and for a tandem solution with shared columns. And this way you can connect multiple structures when you need a solution for more than 2 cars. It's designed to be assembled by a crew of 2. It doesn't require any specialized or heavy tools to install it and is DIY friendly. This is a solar structure, so it is eligible for the extended 26% ITC. The carport is supplied with an Iron Ridge system and under panel clamps, so it accepts any solar module inverter you want. When combined with the Blicker EPDM T-gasket, the surface becomes watertight. You can add a decorative mesh to hide the solar electronics beneath, and safety solar lights can be added to the front columns without running any wires or drilling any holes. Depending on your local AHJ requirements, you can run all the wiring through the carport columns without external conduit. EV chargers are also an excellent addition, and the carport back columns have pre-drilled holes to install the NLX juice box chargers and cables. This is designed and fabricated here in Texas and comes with a 25-year warranty. The structure is stamped by a structural PE in Texas, and you can install 24 solar modules with 4 columns of 6. The basic load capacities are 35 PSF snow load, upgradable to 65 and 175 mile per hour wind load, seismic design category E. The 2-car carport is 18 feet wide by 18 feet deep and has a 9.5 foot clearance and comes with a 5-degree tilt. You can find a 3D model of both the standalone and carport and the tandem solution on the Blicker website. We'll be sharing a link in the chat if you want to play with it and see the different components. And one last item before we get started here. Here's our solar design and quote tool. You'll find it at the top of our homepage on renvu.com. It's a free online tool we are well known for, and we use this for design in-house as well. It's easy to use and displays a dynamic bill of materials. Our team updates this tool constantly with the latest solar components we can offer and pricing currently available for the complete solar kits. Before getting started, make sure you're logged in to view pricing. And let me get this video going here in the background. Okay. And if you aren't registered, it's easy. It only takes a minute or two to do so. You can enter your email at the end to save your configuration. First, select the system type and components you'd like to see on your quote. If you're unsure of what to select, no worries. This tool will help you make your selections on the way, and it's easy to go back and make changes. So you select your panel, then configure your racking system from a wide range of options. On the left side, you'll see a bill of materials building up. And when you're logged in to your account using this tool, you'll see the prices change as you edit your system configuration. This is a great way to compare the cost of different options in real time. You can click on any of those items on the left. It'll open up a separate tab with the item page where you can find helpful manufacturer documents like data sheets and installation manuals. It's a great way to learn as you go. You can add in your rail profile and span there, and at the bottom you'll see a racking sketch with dimensions. And then once you're on the next page, you can choose your inverter, and you can also add on energy storage and module level electronics options if you like. And on the last selection page, you can add a balance of system, disconnects, EV chargers, and a permit plan set if you'd like us to draft it for you. And then at the end, you can save your quote on your account, email in, and myself or another team member of the sales team at info@renvu.com. We'll review the bill of materials and weigh in with any insight on the configuration and availability. We're also available to take any questions you may have. I encourage you to take a moment and play around with this tool. It's interesting to compare the different options and contemplate possible design configurations. All right, let's close that out. On to the next slide here. Okay, so if you have any questions about these products or about Fortress Power while Gary is presenting, please feel free to ask in the Q&A section, and we'll get to the questions at the end of the webinar during the Q&A session. Please do not use the chat feature for questions, as it will be hard to sort through them there. It's fine to add comments in the chat about the presentation. Just note that we won't be actively monitoring it. You can also email our sales team at info@renvu.com for more information pricing. We also have recordings of previous webinars on the RENVU YouTube channel if you want to take a look at any of our past webinars. This webinar is being recorded, and we'll send you a link in a follow-up email. All right, we're about to get started here. I'm going to hand it over to Gary.
Thank you, Kyle. Allow me to share my screen here, and I'll get my presentation underway. We're here to talk about a bit about Fortress Power and also our new product, the FlexTower and the DuraRack product. Okay, so Fortress Power, let's see, here we go. We are a US-based manufacturer for lithium iron phosphate batteries, or LFP batteries. We manufacture the highest quality home energy storage units for residential and commercial applications. Based in Southampton, Pennsylvania, which is about 45 minutes northwest of Philadelphia. And we've been in business for over 6 years now. We're owned by a group of private equity investors as well as veterans in the solar industry. Since our inception, we've had over 20,000 batteries deployed in the field throughout the United States, Canada, Puerto Rico, and internationally. And Fortress Power has been a, a key lithium battery supplier for several government and utility entities. One that we'd like to note is that we're providing the battery backup for SEPTA, which is the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. And anyone who's ever ridden in the subways on the East Coast probably knows that in the Philadelphia and tri-state area, there's a pretty substantial subway system. So we're proud to say that we're providing battery backup for all of the traffic signals throughout SEPTA's railways. Then regarding our financing partners, Fortress Power, we're approved with most of the major financial lenders in the industry. So if you're an end user or you work with end users that are going to be using financing, it shouldn't be that hard to obtain a loan if you're using Fortress Power batteries. Then lastly, a little bit more about our company. I think one thing that really separates Fortress Power from a lot of our competitors is that we have a really strong technical support team. It's not difficult to call in or send an email into the tech support and have a live human being respond to the case within the same day to make sure that problems get troubleshot. So whether you're trying to commission a system or have some questions about the design phase or a wiring scheme, we have a really strong technical team in place that will be there to answer those kind of questions. We realize that batteries and energy storage are new for a lot of installers and end users. And so with that, we have the tech team in place that's aware of this and trained to be patient and as helpful as possible. So jumping into the two main batteries that we offer, I know we're going to be covering the FlexTower mainly, but we do have two residential batteries currently available on the market. The first is the eVault Max 18.5. This is an 18.5 kilowatt hour unit, 48 volt battery. It's the largest home residential battery on the market currently. It's very easy to install, has a nice clean look to it. The physical extent of installing the eVault Max is taking the battery cables from the unit and putting them onto the terminals of the inverter. So it's a very plug and play unit. Shouldn't take more than 15 or 20 minutes to install. What's nice about the eVault Max is you can take the side covers off of the unit and pull out the battery packs in the case that needs to go up into an attic or down into a basement. It is a fairly heavy unit, so by being able to remove the battery cells can really help transporting the eVault Max. What's also nice about this battery is that it's scalable up to 370 kilowatt hours. So not only will this work in a full home backup solution, but this can also work for commercial applications as well. This is 3-phase, 208 and 480 volt compatible. And then lastly, for the eVault Max, it does have UL 9540 and UL 9540A certifications. So I shouldn't have any issues getting this permitted in the respective jurisdictions. But now moving on to our second battery, the eFlex 5.4. This is a 5.4 kilowatt hour unit, also 48 volt. This battery comes with the IP65 rated enclosure. So this battery is suitable for outdoor use. What's nice about the eFlex is it's a very versatile unit, hence the name. You can leave this on the floor. It can be mounted on a wall, which we make a wall mount kit for. And then we also have a couple different racking options, including the FlexTower that's available for the eFlex unit. This battery, you can have up to 15 of these in serial or in parallel. So you can this is scalable up to 81 kilowatt hours. And then if you look at the enclosure on the eFlex, there's some ridges built into the unit. Those aren't for aesthetic purposes. The ridges are actually built to help the battery release heat quicker. So three of the main reasons why a battery degrades over time will be humidity, dust, as well as heat. We feel that the outdoor rated enclosure on the eFlex addresses all of these issues very well and will ensure for the longest battery life possible. So I mentioned we have a couple racking options available. We're here to talk about the FlexTower, but we also have the Flex Rack unit available. This is the indoor rated version of the rack for the eFlex unit. So the Flex Rack is expandable up to 4 units or 15 eFlex batteries in total. And what's nice about the Flex Rack is that it comes with integrated bus bars as well as 4 sets of battery cables. So you can get the eFlexes placed into the unit and linked together and up and running fairly quickly with the Flex Rack unit. And lastly, it does have a mount built into it in the case that this is going to be operating in a cooler environment. you can add a thermostat to the flex rack with the mount that's already built into the unit fairly easily to address any really cold weather climates. So just looking at the technical specifications of both batteries again, the eVault is 18.5 kilowatt hours. The eFlex is 5.4. Both batteries are warranted for 10 years or 8,000 plus cycles at 80% depth of discharge. And both batteries are 48 volt. So here's a list of compatible inverters that we have for our batteries. Out of the 6, we can do closed loop communications with Sol-Ark, SMA, Victron, and Schneider. I think there might be some questions here. Let me just take a look here. Oh, never mind. So carrying on, not only are our batteries suitable for DC projects, but Fortress Power batteries can work in an AC coupled solution as well. So what's nice is you can turn in you can couple into any system, any existing array, and turn it into a PV ready system. We can AC couple into systems or arrays up to 22 kilowatts. So if your customers or if yourself have installed solar 4 or 5 years ago and having a battery wasn't an option at the time, with Fortress Power batteries, now that could be an option for the end user or your home PV system. So we have a couple of new products coming out. Aside from the FlexTower, we also have a product called the Guardian that's we're releasing in the next 6 to 8 weeks. And what this is the Guardian is an add-on accessory to the eVault Max and the eFlex units that will allow the end user to monitor the battery directly from their smartphone or their home PC. It's nice that it'll allow the end user to see the battery's voltage, state of charge percentage, watts, and amperage. But along with that, it will also allow the installer or end user to make firmware updates to the battery remotely online rather than having to go on site and manually update the battery, which is the current process. So I think this will be a really nice product for installer and end users both. And again, this should be available in 6 to 8 weeks. So fairly soon here, we'll have the Guardian available. We have a question here. The eFlex install manual recommends 150 amp overcurrent protection added to each unit. Does the rack enclosure have provisions for adding that overcurrent protection? For this question, I'll have to defer to the technical team. I don't believe it does, but I would need to double check on that question, Charles. Okay, so then jumping into our main new product that we are having this discussion today for, the FlexTower and the DuraRack. We're getting a lot of questions about this. There seems to be a lot of excitement about this product. And so happy to talk about this today. So what the FlexTower and DuraRack is an outdoor rated enclosure for the eFlex 5.4 battery. That the top portion that you can see on the right hand side here will enclose a Sol-Ark 12 kilowatt or 15 kilowatt inverter. And then the bottom portion will enclose up to 4 eFlex 5.4 kilowatt hour batteries. The FlexTower and DuraRack, regardless of whether you have the inverter installed or not with this, whether it's the FlexTower or the DuraRack, will be expandable up to 4 units. So either 4 FlexTowers or 4 DuraRack units. Each unit can hold up to 21.6 kilowatt hours. And so similar to the eFlex, the FlexTower and the DuraRack also come with the IP65 rated enclosure. Similar to our indoor rated tower and racking unit, both the FlexTower and the DuraRack will have built-in bus bars and cables. So this will also help for a quick, easy installation. These units do come with a passive cooling fan for the warmer weather environments. If this is going to be on the desert, perhaps a passive cooling fan might not be sufficient, but I think in most environments, the fan will be enough to keep the unit cool and below the recommended operating temperatures, which is 113 degrees Fahrenheit. And so with this unit, paired with the Sol-Ark 15 kilowatt inverter, you can pass through 200 amps to the home's main panel, which will be really nice. And so this product will be available to ship late at the end of this month or early August. So we're really excited for the launch of this product. We realize that there's more and more AHJs that are requiring batteries to be installed outdoors if they exceed a certain amount of kilowatt hours. And so I believe this the FlexTower and the DuraRack will be a really nice choice for those areas that are seemingly to be more and more against having batteries installed indoors. This will be a great choice for end users and installers that are having to deal with inspectors in those areas that don't want the batteries in the garage or inside the house any longer. And so looking at the technical specifications of the FlexTower, it is a fairly large unit. It does weigh 265 pounds by itself. That's without the inverter and without the batteries inside of it. One thing to note is that Fortress Power will be responsible for the warranty and the troubleshooting issues for both our batteries and the Sol-Ark inverter. And so I think that's a question that I've been seeing a lot. And so rest assured, you won't have to deal with both manufacturers. You'll only have to deal with Fortress Power when dealing with any warranty claims or any type of technical issues. So yeah, I think this will be a really nice mover for us. As mentioned, it is a decently good sized unit, but with that large size or heft also comes a really nice uniform look. And so if you're considering Tesla Powerwall or you're an installer and you're competing against other installers that are offering Powerwall, and perhaps the pushback may be that Tesla can offer a really nice, clean, uniform look. With the FlexTower, now you'll have that option to combine Fortress Power and Sol-Ark to have just one clean, uniform look, similar to that of Powerwall and some of the other manufacturers on the market that can provide that. So rather than having a inverter and battery separate with separate colors and separate companies, you can just have one nice clean cabinet in the garage or on the outside of the house. So that's pretty much it for the products that we have to offer. What's nice about being a battery supplier that only has a couple of residential batteries and racking options is we can keep these presentations fairly short. But I did have a couple more slides that I just wanted to cover briefly before we conclude here. And so if you install lithium batteries, or if you are considering having lithium iron phosphate batteries installed in your home, it's important to know this. First, that not all LFP batteries or lithium iron phosphate batteries are the same. Different cell manufacturers use different compound mixes, which determine the battery's lifespan and the quality consistency. So the same cell manufacturer will produce their cells at different quality levels based on the application. Electric vehicles, or EV, being the highest quality, followed by home energy storage, and then lastly, telecommunication. Fortress Power, we actually use electric vehicles or EV cells that are prismatic tier 1. And so that entails that our batteries have the best power density and the greatest thermal stability. If you take a look here, when you compare pouch cells and cylindrical cells to prismatic cells, you can see that the prismatic cell not only has greater durability, but much better longevity and thermal stability. By no means is Fortress Power the only manufacturer that has prismatic cells in our batteries, but if you're going to be installing cell batteries or having a lithium iron phosphate battery installed in your home, I think you do want to go with the manufacturer that offers the prismatic cells in their batteries. If anything, just for the thermal stability of the unit, it's going to protect the battery a lot better from potential fires that could be really bad inside a home with a lithium battery. So I think this is an interesting slide here. This compares the cycle life of an automotive cell to a telecom cell. The red line here is the automotive cell. The black line is the telecom cell. And as you can see here, at a 1C rating, at a 1C charge rating at 90% depth of discharge, the automotive cell will get double the cycle life that the telecom cell will. So again, just want to stress that Fortress Power uses EV automotive cells in our batteries to ensure the longest battery life. One other thing I wanted to note is that I have seen some of our competitors rate their battery for charge and discharge rate at 1C rating. And while that is true that their battery can charge at a 1C rating, which means they'll have a faster charge and discharge time, that comes at a steep price. And the price for that is the higher the C rating you have for the battery, the less cycle life the battery will have. And so if you look at the slide here, our battery is rated at a 0.5 C rating. And we warranty our battery for over 8,000 cycles because of that. But if you look here for batteries that are at a 1C rating, they're not going to get more than 5,000 cycles at 90% depth of discharge. And so just want to state again, if a company is saying that they can just charge or discharge their battery at a 1C rating, it is true, but you will be paying a price later on in the long-term life of the battery, and it most likely will need to be replaced before 5,000 cycles. I hate to bring up Tesla again, but I think most people are aware that Tesla exaggerates quite a bit about what their systems can do, and Elon Musk is just a great showman and a great salesman. Even with their systems, they don't rate their battery more than 0.5 C because they know that having a battery with a 1C rating will kill the life of it. By increasing C rating on a battery, it increases heat, and heat is one of the main reasons why a battery will degrade over time. And so just good to note that you really want to be wary when other manufacturers are stating that their batteries can charge and discharge at a 1C rating. And then lastly, for today's presentation, I do want to note that our Fortress Power batteries come with a digital processor-based BMS. Some other battery manufacturers in the market include their battery with a MOSFET BMS, or battery management system, which is more of a rudimentary circuit board. The BMS is the brains of the system. That's what's speaking to the inverter and controlling the batteries or the battery bank. And so you really want to have the best brains possible when you're installing high-tech lithium batteries inside your home or offering that service to end users. So by having a digital processor-based BMS, it's going to protect the battery or battery bank a lot better from thermal runaway, as well as have a better response to the inverter's inrush current when a large appliance is turned on and there's a surge of electricity through the system. By having a digital processor-based BMS in place, it's going to protect things much better from that versus a MOSFET BMS. So in closing for today, I did mention that I think one thing that separates Fortress Power from our competitors is our strong technical support. And along with having a standard email and technical support line that you can call into, our tech team is also available to chat on Discord, which is a nice application where our end users or Fortress Power installers can go to have more of a running dialogue with the engineering team. So if there's things that you would like to see in future firmware updates or product development, Discord's a great place to go to have that conversation, and it can feel a bit more of a natural conversation than having to call on the tech support line to get feedback on what you would like to see. It's also a good place to go if you need questions answered after hours. On the weekends or after the tech team has left the office for the day. I can't guarantee that they'll answer your questions on Saturday at 2, but there's a good chance that your questions will get answered over the weekend by using Discord or the Podium website. So we really try to value all of our customers and want to have the technical support there to be in place when issues do arise or questions do come up. So that's pretty much all I have for today. Appreciate everyone's time. I'll stop sharing my screen now, and we can open it up to any questions that anyone may have.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Gary. We can get started with that Q&A section. I don't see any Q&A coming in yet, but if you guys have questions, please enter those now. I really appreciate your section you went over with the C rating and the maximum current for charging and discharging. That's a really important thing for everyone to understand. So thank you for that, Gary, and we'll give you a few minutes if you guys have any questions. And while we're waiting for those questions, you can also email our sales team at info@renvu.com for more information and pricing. And again, this webinar is being recorded, so we'll send you a link in the follow-up email. So we have a question regarding the Sol-Ark 15K. This isn't specifically related to Fortress. I don't know off the top of my head the 15K EMP. I'm not quite sure if it's built-in EMP resistant or if that is separate, but email in and we can keep you posted as soon as we have confirmed that information.
Yeah, another question was, will the FlexTower and the Sol-Ark be sold together or separately? That question is, they will be sold separately. And one of the reasons for that is since there's a Sol-Ark 12K and 15K, it just makes it easier to, if you're going to be purchasing from RENVU, just to select the 12K or 15K and then select the FlexTower as well. Perhaps in the future when, if there's only a Sol-Ark 15K or a different one model that's compatible with the FlexTower, we'll have those shipped together. But for the time being, those are sold separately.
Oh, I actually just got a note from our team. The 15K EMP resistant units should be available for pre-order soon. Availability in and around Q4 of 2022. Looks like pending some testing.
I see a question. Why do you need a digital processor-based BMS? All BMS requires some kind of processor. Perhaps I wasn't entirely clear. Not all battery management systems or BMS require a digital processor. A battery management system can be a MOSFET BMS, as I showed on my slide, which is more of a just a rudimentary circuit board. Fortress Power uses a digital processor for our BMS. We feel that by having a digital processor-based BMS, it's going to have a better response to things such as the inverter, inrush current, and thermal runaway, as well as communicate better with the inverter. By having a digital processor-based BMS, you're able to establish closed-loop communications with the inverter. With closed-loop communication, the batteries can relay their state of charge percentage in real time to the inverter, versus in an open loop system, the inverter is looking at the battery's resting voltage to determine state of charge percentage, which can be an inaccurate way to read that. So it's not necessary to have a digital processor-based BMS, but we believe that it's the safest way and the most efficient way to run a battery system. And when you're having potentially 3 or 4 lithium iron phosphate batteries in your garage, I think the homeowner would want the safest monitoring system possible to not only ensure longest battery life, but to ensure the safety of the batteries as well.
All right, I don't see any more questions there. So I guess, again, thanks, Gary, for joining us, and we'll work on that recording and email it back to everyone in the next few days. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time. Have a nice day.